From KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hi, good morning. It's Tuesday, October 21st, and before we get to weather and traffic happening today, people in Seguin will be able to get the resources they need at a resource rally.
That's right. Volunteers are handing out essentials from food, water, and toys for local families. Our Devin Karp is there this morning. Good morning, Devin.
Good morning, guys. We are just about to get started. There are hundreds of cars on the other side of this parking lot getting ready to come through and get boxes full of food, some essentials like makeup, things that might not be covered when you are using SNAP, Supplemental Nutritional Assistance programs here at the store within Seguin. But this is something that the city of Seguin says is very important, with the city having around an 18% poverty rate in town. So that's why they have partnered with Feeding the Children, a nonprofit, and Niagara Bottling. They are one of the manufacturers here in Seguin to make sure that people can have what they need. Take a look behind me here. You can see some of what's available for some of the families. We've got cans of food, non-perishable items. There's going to be toys for them. There's shampoo, conditioner, skincare items, makeup, a lot of different things. There's about $150,000 worth of supplies here that are going to be given out to 400 different families in Seguin. They have vouchers. They are ready to go, and they are going to be picking up for other families as well. Some of these families living in their cars, so these organizations are doing everything they can to help them out. Coming up later on GMSA, we're going to be speaking with some of those families and some of the volunteers behind this to see why they're giving their time to make sure that everyone in Seguin has a place to rest their head at night and a full belly when they go to sleep. For now, I'll send it back to y'all. In the meantime, Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thank you, Devin. And right now we are working to learn more information about a power outage on the north side near the airport.
So right now on your screen, you can see about 700 people are affected by this outage. We don't know what's causing this outage, but we'll bring you more information when we get it.
Look out there with live cam this morning. Yeah, not as cool as it was, I would say, early Monday, and definitely not as cool as it was on Sunday morning. So we're just kind of waiting for that to happen, Justin.
It doesn't feel like October at all. I mean, at all. It's so sticky out there. Yeah, the temperatures are in the mid-70s, but we are going to get some relief later today, and not so much as far as the temperature goes, but with the humidity, it will fall off actually quite significantly. So let's take a look outside once again. You can see the low-hanging clouds. You can just almost see the humidity in the air. 76, humidity is at 85%. Bernie, humidity at 100%. So there are some spots where we've had some patchy fog this morning, although I don't think that's going to be a big issue. We are starting to see a north wind, and I think that's going to start the process of ushering some of this humidity out of here. There's a look at the satellite picture. We got a good cloud deck over us. That'll stick around for another couple of hours before that gets pushed out as well. You see the dew points. It has fallen off in Kerrville. That front is basically on our doorstep here, so we're starting to see that process happen with the drier air funneling in from the north. But we still have dew points in the 70s at this moment here in San Antonio. So the forecast for today, 83 noontime, 88 at 2 o'clock. At that point, you will have dew points really falling off at a high temperature right around 89. All right, let's switch gears a little bit and talk traffic. We do have a crash at I-10 and Proban. It's been there for about an hour. It's blocking 2 lanes, so only 3 getting by, and that is causing some slowdowns there on the south side of downtown. Several stalls, and that's what you're seeing there on the map, but really this is the one big issue that we have on the roadways, and I'll show you here on the map that it is causing backups on the westbound lanes of I-10 all the way past I-37, so expect some delays there until they can get this cleaned up. Guys?
Justin, well, happening today, the Public Safety Committee is planning to meet this afternoon to discuss several community issues. And one topic that caught our eye, possibly addressing a rise in mailbox theft. So the agenda says that Deputy City Manager Maria Villagomez and Chief of Police William McManus are speaking on this problem.
Yeah, that's when the committee will decide whether or not to create a mailbox task force. You remember back in August, we broke down the hot spots for this kind of crime. That story is available on our website at KSAT.com.
Well, now to your top stories at 9. A former Bexar County constable who was at the center of numerous KSAT investigations is running for state representative.
Yeah, we're talking about Michelle Barrientos Vela. She confirmed to KSAT that she is running as a Democrat in District 125. State Representative Ray Lopez holds that seat now. He's retiring next year. So if you remember, Barrientos Vela was convicted, then exonerated of tampering with evidence charges related to her time as office in constable. So she also unsuccessfully ran for Bexar County Sheriff back in 2020. That primary will take place in March.
Well, nearly 4 years later, and the search for Lena Kiel continues. She is a little girl who vanished at 3 years old back on December 20th of 2021.
Her family is giving an update about the ongoing efforts to find their daughter. They say they have not given up and are asking for help. Lena's father, through a translator, also voiced his frustration with the investigation.
I have nothing to ask for, but the only request I have from SAPD, FBI, and other agencies to recover my Lena.
If you know anything at all that can help with this investigation, you're asked to call San Antonio Police. The government shutdown continues, and it's impacting federal firefighters locally. Here in San Antonio, firefighters at certain military bases have been working without pay for a month due to this shutdown.
So federal firefighters at Lackland, Randolph, and Fort Sam Houston are the ones affected. And thankfully, a local nonprofit is stepping up to help these workers by giving them gift cards and to help them with their groceries. So the San Antonio Coalition for Veterans and Families recently gave them $100 HEB gift cards, and the nonprofit addresses these emergency needs of military members and veterans and can make payments for clients' hotels, groceries, and even some utility bills. So in the last 3 years, SACVF has served more than 1,200 veterans.
Well, this morning, the Texas Cyber Command has officially launched at UTSA. It aims to protect the state from constant cyber attacks.
So it was created by Governor Greg Abbott earlier this year and is set to be the largest state-run cyber defense team in the country. So retired Navy Vice Admiral TJ White will lead the command. He says they are focusing on building a strong, coordinated defense against digital threats. Well, day one of early voting for the November 4th election is in the books now. Just over 10,000 of you already cast your ballot.
So a downtown Spurs Arena and East Side Rodeo District are on Bexar County ballots. Voters in Bexar County will decide whether to use a venue tax on hotel stays and short-term car rentals to help fund these projects. So Proposition A would redevelop the Spurs' current East Side home. It would turn the Frostbank Center, Freeman Coliseum, and surrounding area into a year-round stock show and rodeo district.
And Proposition B would help pay for a new Spurs arena. So that is a key part of the city's wider plans for a sports and entertainment district, which you guys know as Project Marvel. So the money from Bexar County only covers a portion of the arena's $1.3 billion cost. However, the larger funding scheme relies on its passing. We have been asking Spurs leadership and representatives what the team will do if the current deal falls through.
Our message today is that we're asking all the voters to go out yes for Prop A and Prop B. We're excited that it's going to pass, and we're looking forward to passage on Prop A and Prop B.
The team hasn't addressed what it will do if the ballot measure fails. And remember, don't wear Spurs or rodeo gear to the polls. Both are part of ballot measures, so wearing gear associated with them can be seen as electioneering, which is illegal. So if you show up with Spurs or rodeo clothes, the poll workers will ask you to take it off or turn your clothes inside out.
And here's a reminder, some important election dates are on your screen right now. So KSAT is your election home for these dates and everything else. You can scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen, or you can always go over to KSAT.com. Well, here's today's 9 at 9. So 3 weeks into the federal government shutdown, and there is still no sign of a deal. The deadlock has now reached a historic point, tying for the second longest shutdown in U.S. history. Lawmakers remain split over a short-term funding plan and whether it should address rising health care costs.
The U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to hear a case on whether a federal law barring certain drug users from owning guns violates the Second Amendment. The appeal is a rare instance of the Trump administration defending a gun prohibition, which is described as a narrow limitation on gun rights.
Well, if your Venmo, Snapchat, Facebook, or Prime Video weren't working on Monday, you weren't alone. This morning, Amazon says most systems are back online. However, millions of users around the world lost access to some of their favorite apps and websites, all because of a major outage at Amazon Web Services, also known as AWS.
Now to an update on the health of former President Joe Biden. A spokesperson for Biden says the former president has completed a course of radiation therapy to treat an aggressive form of prostate cancer. Biden marked the moment by ringing a bell, a tradition that many cancer patients often do to signify the completion of treatment.
And new research showing that fewer children are suffering from peanut allergies, and the shift comes after a big change in national guidance back in 2017 that encouraged early peanut introduction for babies. So experts say that early exposure helps babies build that food tolerance through the gut.
The maker of Tylenol is pushing back against proposed change to its safety label. So Kenvue says that the FDA should not add language suggesting a link between Tylenol used during pregnancy and autism in children. The company calls the proposal arbitrary and contrary to law.
Weight Watchers is looking to bulk up its business with a new deal in Amazon. So they're now partnering on the delivery of the weight loss drugs, especially focused on underserved rural areas. So Weight Watchers emerged from bankruptcy over the summer and shares jumped to 9%.
Costco members could save on Halloween candy this week thanks to a Groupon promotion. For a limited time, new signups can get a Gold Star membership for $65 or executive level for $130 and receive a $100 promo code to use on future Costco purchases of $200 or more. That offer runs through Friday.
Well, it's become an annual tradition at Starbucks, and on Monday, the coffee chain officially announced the date for its Red Cup Day. So that will be Thursday, November 13th. And customers can receive a reusable red holiday cup when they buy a holiday beverage at participating stores. I'll remember that date. That's my mom's birthday.
It's a good day. Good birthday present for your mom. It makes you feel like the holidays are within
on the way,
reach.
right?
And maybe the weather will cooperate. We're going to talk to Justin about that. He does have some good news for us.
Yes, that'll be good to look forward to in November for sure. Well, the time now is about 9:09 and we're at 76 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
AI is changing classrooms, but mental health experts warn parents to watch closely. Still ahead, what the American Psychological Association is saying about the use of AI, especially among students.
Plus, the search and recovery continues after the deadly 4th of July Hill Country floods. We're going to take you where those efforts are now being focused. Hi, welcome back. It's 9:14. Well, 3.5 months after the deadly Hill Country flood, work continues to try to bring closure to families.
As our Bashada Pope reports, 2 victims still have not been found, and the search to find them is now focused on Lake Ingram.
There is a lot of heavy equipment that has been brought out here to Lake Ingram. This is where the search will be taking place for the last 2 victims of the July floods.
It's a coordinated effort by multi-state agencies to bring 8-year-old Seal Stewart and 63-year-old Jeff Ramsey home.
But I never envisioned or never dreamed I'd see a barge.
An official with the Texas Division of Emergency Management, which is overseeing this mission, says this is a search operation. Stewart was a camper at Camp Mystic when the floodwaters of the Guadalupe took her on July 4th. Since that time, there have been numerous searches of the Guadalupe River. Back in August, Nimitz Lake was searched. Roger Carter says whatever measures need to be taken to find the 2 missing victims should be taken.
Whatever we got to do to find her or leave no stone unturned.
The actual searching has not started of Lake Ingram just yet. That is expected to happen sometime this week. But happening now, City Council is discussing the possibility of prohibiting any RVs in the flood zone. In Ingram, Bashada Pope, KSAT 12 News.
Shada, thank you. Some good news for this weekend and next week?
Yes.
Okay.
On both fronts, no pun intended. Yes, we get some rain this weekend, I think, and then, yes, maybe some cooler air next week. And we get some lower humidity today, so there's actually quite a bit of good news in this forecast. Let's first start with the visible satellite picture, and you can see a line of clouds here. We're overcast for the moment, but there is a frontal boundary moving through, and you can almost pick it out here on the visible satellite imagery right there, that kind of whitish line. That is the front. And that is sinking south, and behind it we have some much drier air that'll be funneling in, and that process is already starting to happen. You see the dew point 72 here in San Antonio. That is thick, muggy air. If you walked outside this morning, you know what I'm talking about. Well, just behind this front, dew points are now in the mid-50s in Kerrville and 40s in Fredericksburg, so that drier air is starting to work its way through. And I think you probably got to give it to about noontime here in San Antonio to really kind of see the difference, but it will turn pleasant this afternoon and dry this evening, and then by tomorrow morning we'll have very dry air in place, which will allow for temperatures to get to pretty comfortable levels, I think, to start your Wednesday. Forecast hour by hour today, we'll start to see these clouds break apart. And by noontime, I think we turn mostly clear, 83. Lower humidity this afternoon, 3 p.m. 89. That is going to be our high temperature, by the way, so it will still be warm. This front does not bring cooler air or rain with it, just the lower humidity. And then by this evening, you'll see temperatures kind of fall off quickly, 80 at 8 o'clock, 76 by 9 p.m. All right, here's the stat of the day for you. Kind of hard to wrap your mind around the fact that in September and October, it has been so dry. We've gone 43 days now without more than 1/100 of an inch of rain. So these are 2 months where we typically get some decent rainfall, and it just has not happened. I think finally, Friday into Saturday, we have an opportunity. An upper level low will be moving in from the west. It'll move into parts of North Texas and Oklahoma by Thursday, and that will generate some storms across far west Texas. But I think it's Friday night where we start to see a line of storms develop, and that should work its way towards San Antonio. I'm thinking now overnight Friday. I really think that's going to be our best chance to get some rain. And we could even see a couple of strong thunderstorms with this. This is midnight, and we should have a line coming through at that point. And then I think the question becomes, how long does this stick around into Saturday? I think most of this ends by Saturday morning, and we get to clear out some Saturday evening with some cooler temperatures on Saturday. So that is the thinking at this moment. And rainfall potential, well, I think we could see up to an inch, even San Antonio, but especially if you're up across the hill country or to the north and east, and further south and west you go, as it often is, we're going to see some lower totals. But at least I think most of the area will get something out of this, and that's all we are asking for at this point because the drought is really starting to intensify. All right, so we get lower humidity this afternoon. We're at 63 tomorrow morning, 86 tomorrow, 89 on Thursday. Clouds return. We get more humidity and then a 40% chance of rain late Friday, and then we get that better chance Friday night, and then a 30% chance Saturday morning. A little cooler on Saturday. I think the clouds will hang around some, 84. And then 88 Sunday. We clear out for the second half of the weekend. And then this is what Sarah was alluding to. Next week, looks like we could get a stronger front Tuesday into Wednesday. Finally, a front that may usher in some fall-like temperatures. If you look at the extended forecast, it's possible we could get some 70s. Ooh. In the forecast, believe it or not. So that would be absolutely amazing. We shall see if that comes to fruition. But do be prepared for some rain this weekend and maybe a couple stronger storms as well. And since I have you guys, I thought, because we asked this morning, I thought I would ask you my Just Ask Justin question because it pertains to baseball and the World Series, which is upcoming. Which team has the fewest World Series appearances?
I know the answer.
Dylan.
I'm going to let Dylan Collier, who's in studio, answer this.
Dylan, go ahead.
B. The Seattle. He says B. The Seattle.
They've never been there.
Yeah, you're right. And they had it.
Yay, good job, Dylan. Such confidence.
They had a chance last night, and I got taken away by the Toronto Blue Jays. I feel bad for the Mariners. They're the one and only MLB team that has never, current MLB team that has never made it to the World Series.
Okay, maybe next year. Next time.
Next year.
Next time around. Yeah. Thank you, Justin.
Yep.
All right, it's 9:20 and 76 degrees.
Well, stay with us here on GMSA at 9. Scientists may have found a mysterious glow in our galaxy that could be dark matter. What this means for our understanding of the universe, coming up.
Plus, concerns around AI in the classrooms, they continue to rise after the break. What the American Psychological Association is telling parents to keep an eye on.
Hi, welcome back. It's about 9:24 now. So artificial intelligence tools are changing the way we learn, and more schools are using AI in the classroom. So while there are many benefits to this technology, of course, there are also concerns, and mental health professionals are warning parents and teachers about AI's potential dangers.
The American Psychological Association says it's important to monitor children and teens' use of AI so we don't repeat the same harmful mistakes researchers say are made with social media. They recommend parents talk to their children about how they're using AI, make it clear AI is not a substitute for real relationships. Not all information is accurate, and review privacy settings together.
Well, scientists may have come up with an out-of-this-world discovery. So new research is showing that a mysterious glow in our galaxy might come from dark matter. So that is an invisible form of matter believed to be 5 times more abundant than regular matter.
The glow was first found by a NASA telescope back in 2008, and some believe the light was caused by exploding stars. Dark matter was first theorized in the 1930s and confirmed in the 1970s by 2 U.S. astronomers.
Well, the time now is 9:25 and 76 degrees for now. You are watching GMSA at 9.
Well, still ahead in the courtroom, a man will now spend the next 45 years in prison for the death of his 12-year-old son. What the mother of the man convicted is now saying.
And a look at the least most popular voting sites in foot traffic for early voting, where you can cast your vote without the long lines, and what a voter had to say about his experience. And welcome back. It's 9:29. A woman's car broadsided by a city vehicle driven by a San Antonio employee.
Now, more than 6 months later, the injured victim is questioning why she hasn't received a settlement.
It was dead impact. If you get you get a traffic ticket, or if you get, let's say, a driving violation, they're very quick to pay the fees or you're going to jail. But they do this to someone's life and they sit on it. It's not fair. It's very unfair.
Well, Denise Martinez's injuries from the East Side wreck include multiple ruptured discs, compressed nerve roots, and diminished function of her neck and lower lumbar. And of course, our Dylan Collier has been tracking the story for KSAT Investigates, and he joins us now. And Dylan, why is the city delaying a possible settlement?
Well, in their eyes, this was an accident that was non-preventable. At this intersection, there should have been a stop sign on Dawson leading onto North New Braunfels. There was not. The SAPD employee, a civilian crime scene investigator, did pull into that intersection at North New Braunfels and Dawson, striking the side of Martinez's SUV. But with that stop sign missing, even though Public Works has come in and since replaced it, the city, in their eyes, viewed this as a non-preventable accident.
So, Dylan, what effect has this crash had on Martinez's life?
It's really been a domino effect. She was left without a car, was unable to complete her training courses to become an insurance agent, and that sort of led to other issues. Martinez can no longer stand on her feet for long periods of time, so other employment opportunities dried up, so she can't work. She doesn't have money to pay bills. She fell behind on those bills, and last month had to move out of her rental home. Martinez is asking the city to settle so she can pay her portion for a lower back surgery that she needs and have enough funds to recuperate until she can return to work full-time and actually stand on her feet to do, meaningful work for more than just a couple of hours a day.
Have we seen cases like this in the city before? And if so, how long does it take the city to get around to something like this?
My experience from tracking these cases, both against the city or if VIA is involved in an accident, is they take a very long time to settle these. And in a lot of cases, the victim or the person who is filing the claim has to go ahead and file a lawsuit and take it to court to try and get a settlement. It's not a situation where the public entity just decides after a few months that they're going to hand over money and settle this thing. It usually ends up in a court somehow.
And Martinez, I guess, reached out to everybody looking for help and then finally came your way?
Yeah, she hired an attorney, she filed the claim, and then it's been close to 6 months after that claim was filed of just waiting for the city to do something. there's been no action. And, you know, as she mentions tonight, she's feeling desperate at this point because she needs surgery, but she doesn't have money to pay her portion of the surgery or to recuperate after having the surgery. She's had a lot of things happen in her personal life as a result of this wreck right here. So she's asking the city to step up and settle this thing.
And real quick, what have you heard from the city at this point?
They won't talk about it because she filed a claim. So the Office of Risk Management has declined comment to us. It's one of those situations. I think it's probably going to end up in court at some point.
All right.
Well, thank you, Dylan, for following on this
Thank you.
story. And then we look forward to tonight. So Hit by the City airs tonight on the Night Beat. Well, this morning, a man convicted in the death of his 12-year-old son will now spend the next 45 years in prison. 35-year-old Derek Coles was found guilty of injury to a child. That's a first-degree felony. So his son, Danilo Coles, died in February of 2022. Investigators say he was beaten and he was burned. They blame Derek Coles and his now ex-wife, who was Danilo's stepmom. So after the sentencing, Derek Coles' mother opened up about what she thought about the case.
Right is right and wrong is wrong. And this did happen on his watch. It did. But at the same time, let justice be served on all sides, not just one.
Well, prosecutors say that the boy's stepmother, Capri Cheatham, also abused him. She is also facing charges but is being tried separately. She is expected back in court on the 31st.
Well, testimony will resume this afternoon in the trial against 3 former SAPD officers. The defense continues to challenge the state's main argument in the case. This is in connection with the death of Melissa Pettis in 2023, a woman who was shot and killed by police while she was having a mental health episode. The prosecution has argued that officers had no right to try to enter Pettis's apartment the night of June 23rd, back on 2023. However, Friday and today, 2 different officers told jurors they believe the actions by former officers Alfred Flores, Elizar Alejandro, and Nathaniel Villalobos were justified.
We're still on board with the plan of getting into that apartment and taking her into custody.
Based upon the assault on Officer Salinas, gave us grounds to go in. So, you know, like I said, we had a legal right to go in.
The defense, for the most part, has said they believe, quote, the state's theory is falling off a cliff, end quote. If convicted, all 3 former officers face up to life in prison. Testimony will resume around 1:30 this afternoon. You can watch it live on all of our digital platforms and, of course, on KSAT.com.
Out there with live cam. So it's 76 degrees now, and Justin gave us the rumor that it could be in the 70s by next week at some point.
Yes, maybe late next week or middle part of next week. So there's some time before we get there, but the models are hinting at it, which is awesome. I think we've earned it at this point. We're watching a front that is coming through. It doesn't bring any rain, but it is going to lower humidity levels later today. I'm going to start though with the pollen count. I know a lot of people have been asking about it. It is back today. And it's good news. Molds are low, ragweed is low, so no big issues there. But again, we will see some gustier winds, I think, a little bit later this afternoon as that front continues to pass through. High temperatures today, 89 here in San Antonio. It'll still be hot, 90 Converse, 85 in Bernie, but at least having the humidity go away kind of helps some. We won't be looking at a heat index like we did yesterday. And again, lower dew points are really starting to funnel in here, and that's going to happen over the next couple of hours. Rain chances also in the forecast. Friday night, especially 40% chance of rain. We could see some storms coming through South Texas. We'll show you that forecast once again, too, coming up here in just a couple minutes.
Thank you, Justin. Well, this morning, hundreds of families in Seguin are about to drive away with boxes full of food and everyday items to make their lives better.
Devin Karp is live there now this morning. Devin, good morning.
Okay, we had some technical issues there, but we did check in with Devin earlier, and he said that people were arriving there to give away those boxes. Well, just over 10,000 people showed up at the polls yesterday for early voting, and polling centers are now open, and if you are looking to cast yours. So here's a look at the 3 most popular voting sites. So looking at Brook Hollow Branch Library with, where is it there? Yeah, 585. Lions Field, this is the Adult and Senior Center. They have 596. And the Cody Branch Library with 465.
And at least 3 popular sites, Frank Garrett Multi-Service Center, 18, 22 at the Somerset City Hall, and 23 at the Macedonia Baptist Church, and 23 at the Southside ISD Admin Building. So that's where you want to go for no line. And in the last 20 years, voter turnout rarely has climbed into the double digits for off-year elections. Well, we'll have to wait and see, because voters yesterday seemed passionate about making their voices heard.
What are some of the benefits of voting early?
Well, there's no line, right? And for something like this, I would expect more of a line, but there actually isn't, so I'm good, right? So I was in and out in 4 minutes.
Well, here's a reminder about some important dates on your screen right now. You can see Halloween is when early voting ends. So KSAT is your election home. For these dates and everything else, you can go ahead and scan that QR code at the bottom of your screen.
Well, San Antonio neighbors, here's your chance to make a real impact in your community. The city is hosting good neighbor workshops in areas needing extra attention for safety and maintenance. Today is in Denver Heights area safety input session.
So this is happening at 6 p.m. at the Denver Heights Community Center, which is located at 300 Porter Street. These events let you share your concerns, learn about the local resources, and work directly with the city officials to develop some solutions.
It is 9:38 and 76 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
Well, coming up, new details surrounding the security of the Louvre after precious jewels were stolen in broad daylight. What officials are now saying about this heist?
Hi, Dawn. How are you? Wednesday on the news at 6.
3 years since I first met you?
Yeah.
What has changed in 3 years?
A story about making the most out of a second chance.
I know for a fact people could change. You know what I'm saying? Looking at change, right, Joe?
I've seen it. I've seen people change their lives.
From decades in prison to a national honor, it's a KSAT follow-up, 3 years in the making.
What's it mean to you to be able to say all of that?
I want to help guys that was like me.
It's Wednesday on the news at 6.
Well, hi, it's 9:43, and if you're just joining us now, we were trying to check in with Devin. There were some technical issues, so he was trying to tell us about hundreds of families in Seguin who are about to drive away with the boxes full of food and some everyday items to make their lives better.
Good morning, Devin.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging in with us with some of those technical issues. We got it all figured out. We're ready to tell you about what's going on over in Seguin. I'm joined by Chet this morning with Feed the Children. Good morning. Thanks for being here with us.
Well, good morning. Thanks to you for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, look at all these empty pallets here. This is helping a lot of different families.
I tell you what a glorious day. We have everyone aligning hearts together to provide food and essentials and water to families in this community, and wow, what a wonderful, it warms my heart.
Fantastic. How efficient and awesome is the drive-through method where cars can just come in, come out, they get the boxes and they're ready to go on their way?
I tell you what, the city here, the community here has done a wonderful job with that. We had cones lined up. Families were lined up here at 6:30 this morning when we got here. And we drove our truck in, the families were already lined up, and we started this event at 9 a.m. and we're almost out of food.
Yeah, hey, good problem to have, right?
It sure is.
So why is it so important that as an organization y'all give back to the community, not only here in Texas, but across the country?
It's such an honor because every community we see the same thing. There's a huge need. The families are so appreciative when you come in and gift them with your heart, not only your heart, but also food and essentials, something that they and the essential part is really important because they can't buy that with their benefits, but of course nutritious food for the kids, and we have toys here also to help kids during the holiday season.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Well, hey, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it. Thank you, Chet. All right, so guys, so this is going to be still going on. They've still got some more boxes left for anyone in Seguin who's got the voucher to come in and hasn't shown up yet. There still is some time to get some of these essentials here in town. We'll be covering it later on for the news at noon. But for now, I'll send it back to you guys. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News, live in Seguin.
Thank you, Devin. We look forward to that. Well, new details about security concerns at the Louvre Museum in Paris before this past weekend's historic jewelry heist.
A lot of talk about this on social media. The suspects getting away with precious jewels on scooters. Experts fear as more time goes by, the odds go up that the priceless gems will be cut up and sold. ABC's Maggie Rulli explains those security concerns.
This morning, new questions about key security gaps at the Louvre as French officials scour the museum for any evidence the thieves may have left behind. A recent audit uncovered serious issues with the Louvre security, including a stunning lack of surveillance. According to the report, 60% of the rooms in the Sully wing and 75% in the Richelieu wing are not protected by video surveillance systems. The report also revealing the museum suffered from significant delays in the development of equipment intended to ensure the protection of works. The heist, now considered one of the most expensive art thefts in history. The French cultural minister telling ABC's James Longman it looks to be the work of a criminal organization.
Globalement, la mise aux normes.
They knew exactly where they were going, she says. It looks like something very organized and very professional. Still, the minister says they're not ruling out an inside job. Experts say that's typically the case.
We've come to the conclusion about 89 to 90% of all museum heists have some sort of insider component to them.
In less than 10 minutes, two of the men, disguised as construction workers, cut their way into the Apollo Gallery using power tools a few hundred yards away from the Mona Lisa and raided the jewels. 4 minutes after they entered the museum, the thieves were back on the ground, where they jumped on two waiting scooters and disappeared into Sunday traffic. But police say the group left behind key items, including a vest, blowtorch, gloves, along with one of the gold crowns they tried to steal. Officials now testing those items for DNA evidence.
The cultural minister is now asking that a police station be established within the museum to boost security. Officials are also investigating whether the alarm system worked properly. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Back here at home, Justin, finally some good news. Yes. We're having a little bit of everything. Some rain, some cool temps.
Well, that's what you would expect in fall.
Right.
You know, some changes, and it's been so just everything the same every day. We're finally going to start to see some variability in our forecast, and we do like that. Let's start with the satellite picture because we can see our front now very clearly here on the visible satellite picture, stretching from Austin now just through Bernie. It's right there. That's the line of clouds. No rain with this front, but just a nice line of clouds. Now ahead of it, we've got some of the low clouds that we've had most of the morning because of the humidity. But right behind this front, you're going to see dew points start to really fall off. And high temperatures today will be cooler, at least across North Texas. Not so much here. 89 is going to be our high. But look at Laredo, 98 in late October. That's fun. 80 in Abilene, 73 Lubbock, and 71 for high in Amarillo today. So you can see kind of the difference here in temperatures based on where you are geographically. Outside, still cloudy, at least for the moment. 76 degrees at the airport, 73 in New Braunfels, 77 in Converse. It is still pretty humid for now, but again, that changes here within the next few hours. And the forecast dew points will go from being near 70 to having dew points probably dropping into the mid to even low 60s by the afternoon. And then eventually, I'd say by dinner time, we may see dew points in the mid 50s, which puts us in the pleasant category versus that tropical and muggy atmosphere that we've had. It gets even drier as the evening wears on and as we go into tonight, which will set us up for a beautiful morning tomorrow. So your forecast today, 83 noontime, 88 at 2 o'clock. We'll be up around 89, as I said, for a high today. Fairly warm, but at least it is dry. All right, Futurecast, and this is the upper level winds that we're looking at here. Upper level low spins and moves across the Four Corners region, and that's going to generate some showers and storms across North Texas Thursday night, but it is Friday that I think the rain chances start to increase for us. This is Friday afternoon. Initially, we'll see some storms in the hill country, and then I think we could see a nice line of storms come through Friday night. Maybe peaking around midnight, although the timing, still could move a little bit. But I think overnight Friday into early Saturday morning may be our best window, just based on the newest data that we have coming in. And then by late Saturday, this would clear up and we would get some clearing and maybe some cooler temperatures on Saturday. 40% chance of rain Friday night, and a 30% chance on Saturday. Very quickly, I did want to touch on the fact that we're going to have Melissa here very soon, a tropical storm, probably a hurricane. But this will make its way up towards Haiti, Dominican Republic, and Cuba. We think over the next several days. This does not appear that it will have an impact on the United States. All right, 86 Wednesday, 89 Thursday, some morning clouds there. We bring in a 40% chance of showers and storms late Friday. That continues into early Saturday morning. And yes, middle part of next week, we could see an actual front, like a full front, that brings in some cooler weather.
Well, hopefully that 40% Friday night is like late Friday night. It doesn't interfere with Martos Fest.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big deal here.
Yeah,
I was worried about that.
If we could time it out well, that would be great. We do absolutely need the rain, but if we could make it work, that would be awesome.
And I'm really hopeful about this front. Maybe it means a cooler Halloween, which means maybe you can actually dress up your pets.
Yes.
And they're not going to overheat in a costume, because I know that's what you guys are looking at today.
Yes, all right. Pet costumes, right?
Yep. Pet costumes. That leads to our question of the day, which is just that, pet costumes. You guys dress up your pets for Halloween?
I do. All the time.
Do you have it ready to go already?
Yeah, different ones or the same one every year?
No, we're going to do different ones. And this year, because I have a baby, we're dressing up as a family, and the dogs are going to dress up as well. I'm not going to say what we're going to be.
That's always so part of the fun. You know that over half of pet parents spend over $50 on their pet costumes.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. What about you, Justin?
No, I haven't tried yet. Penny I feel like she would take it off immediately, but I do love those costumes where they have the little arms in front. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, where they run around.
Delivering boxes or something ridiculous.
Like the UPS, you know, they got the package. Oh my gosh, too cute. Well, yes, everybody can weigh in, scan the QR code, and let us know if you are willing to share the costume. We'll stay tuned for Sarah's family photo. Thanks, guys. And speaking of dogs.
Speaking of our four-legged fur babies, oh yes, this is a game changer for pet parents. Too hot for walks, this rolling treadmill for dogs brings the workout right to your driveway.
And calling all wrestling fans, we have a legend in the house right here. Mr. Kevin Von Erich is joining us. Now, you know him. The movie came out, Iron Claw. Okay, we had Zac Efron playing you. What was that like?
What did you think of Zac Efron playing you?
Oh, well, he's a really nice guy. A respectful kid. He's about 30, mid-30s, but a great guy and real nice. We had dinner, and my son asked me, he said, what kind of, because we took a picture and it hit all these media spots, and I said, and it was him, we were hugging, you know, and he said, Dad, what's it like? Is Zac Efron a good hugger? And people on the computer, you know,
we just want to know, is he a good hugger?
Yeah, I mean, can you answer that?
He seems like he would be.
Yeah, I wanted it to never end.
A good brace, yes. Yeah. Great. Well, we have a lot more to talk about with Kevin and AEW Wrestling, which is happening. So we'll share all those details here in a bit.
Okay, and a local Greek restaurant has been serving San Antonio for decades, but now things are about to get real exciting. We're going to tell you how you could win free gyros for a year.
What? For a year? Okay, and some pumpkin fun. Do you want to make them bubble and brew? Well, we have Matt Science in the house, and we're going to make it happen. Where are they? There they are. Andrea, she's ready to teach us, and I'm excited to learn.
And turn your home into a colorful tribute. We're showing you some easy ways to transform your home for Dia de los Muertos with Maddie Mac Boutique. All that and more when SA Live continues in just a few.